Disney has been the largest media conglomerate and has defined creativity, innovation, and storytelling. However, in recent years, the environment of this media conglomerate started to change, creating discussion about its downfall. In this video, I'm going to explain the obstacles Disney is currently suffering and how it can surpass them, remaining its legacy. One of the main challenges Disney is facing is the rapidly evolving media landscape. Ever since streaming services hit the mainstream, cable TV ended up in obscurity. I bet most people don't recognize Disney's 2020s cable TV shows. People nowadays prefer to watch streaming TV, which affects cable and movie ticket sales. With all that happening, Disney released Disney Plus, their own streaming platform. Even though they are easily more successful than some platforms, they have to compete against veterans like Netflix and Amazon Prime. In 2019, Disney introduced Disney Plus, which was an important move for the company. However, since the streaming wars are intense, many platforms were competing for subscribers. Since Disney owns significant franchises like Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars, I bet they can get quite an audience. But since Disney's content is more family-friendly, people who want to watch mature content won't be subscribing. I mean, sure, you have Fox's cartoons like The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, among others. But what if they want to watch live-action mature content instead of animation? Critics argue that since the pandemic, Disney's creative output has stagnated in terms of original storytelling. The company still relies on sequels and reboots of existing franchises. That's why we're getting stuff like Zootopia 2, Frozen 3, even Toy Story 5, and lots of live-action reboots. Some of these franchises have fan bases, especially Marvel and Star Wars, so it can become advantage for Disney to make content from existing franchises to generate nostalgia for the fan bases. It can also make younger audiences seeking new content to watch. Society has been growing in terms of diversity, inclusion, and representation, so Disney decided to include both LGBTQ+ and diverse races, but somehow, Disney does this badly. Since for the Little Mermaid remake released this year, they turned Ariel into a black person. I'm not being racist, but Disney can still represent race diversity in different ways, like creating new IPs with race-diverse protagonists, instead of turning an existing character into a different race. Like just changing an iconic character's race is literally childhood ruining. The 2020 animated movie Lightyear and Strange World both tried to represent LGBTQ+ in their movies. Lightyear represented it by adding a side character who shortly turned out to be lesbian, and Strange World represented it by making the main character gay. And no, I'm not trying to be homophobic here. Like, just don't type in the comments, "Shut up, you homophobic piece of trash." I'm just saying that. As I mentioned earlier, Disney has a family-friendly library, so 7-year-olds could literally go into a movie theater and watch a huge screen with a gay scene. What do you think the parents would think of their child watching an LGBT film? Anyways, in the early days of Disney, their films had some racial stereotypes, but they are now censored. So in conclusion, Disney can still use racial diversity, but not by swapping an existing character's race. But I just wish Disney stopped adding LGBT in their films, since it can let today's kids into knowing about the LGBTQ community. The COVID-19 pandemic turned the tables for Disney, especially in movies and theme parks, since the films and theme parks were Disney's main cash cows. It lost them a lot of money, but luckily, Disney's slowly starting to recover. Disney's current downfall is just a test of how strong the company can be. They still invest on their streaming services Disney Plus and Hulu, and also trying to be more inclusive, but they still fail in that case. Disney may have changed their media landscape a little bit, but their legacy and iconic characters will always stay in the company's ID. They can still preserve their identity while surpassing these obstacles. Like, imagine if they could make a stylized animated movie. Also, I'm literally publishing this video on October 16th, 2023. So you can call this a 100th anniversary special, but that's just my opinion. So tell me in the comments about your opinion. and sub if you want. A lot of videos are coming if I'm not lazy lol, but anyways, signing out.